Alright guys, well this week what I'm working on is getting the car ready for the wiring. Now I want to put a fuse box hidden under the dash, and the reason I want to do that is because a big guy like me, it's tough to get under the steering wheel and get to the fuses, and you got to be in weird places, and this thing's on the ground. So what I'm planning on is under the passenger dash, I'll pull a pin or unscrew something, whatever, and it'll swing down so I can easily sit there, check my fuses, check my relays, and fix a problem if there is one there. Alright, so what I've already done is I've taken and made this plate that I'm going to be taking and mounting everything on. So this here is 14 by 10. It's going to go up under the dash, and when I pull the pin or whatever, it's going to swing down like this, and on this side it's going to have my fuse pin on all my relays. So nice and simple. Now we're going to use the same hinge that I did in the previous video. I think I called it a hidden hinge or whatever. It's with all thread and coupling nuts. Now I'm going to do the same type hinge on this, but I am going to use a suggestion that Demon X commented, and that is instead of welding the outside nut to the frame, use a plate so it can be unbolted. So I'm going to give that a try. That way we could remove the whole panel if we wanted to. So we're going to get on that. I want to thank DI, Design Engineering Inc. They reached out and sent me a few things to help with the build. One thing they definitely sent me is one thing you guys always comment on: safety, earplugs and safety glasses, things like that. But they did send some other items that's really going to help with the wiring of this car. So a big thank you to them. They seem like great guys, so we'll be using some of their products in the future. So for right now, we're going to go ahead and weld up the outer frame. Since I already made the plate, we're going to do the outer frame. Now one thing I want to talk about is prepping your metal for welding. When your metal comes from the actual wherever yard you get it from, it's coated in oil. Now it's coated in oil to keep it from rusting. Now if you ever notice that you try to take a Sharpie and write on it, it ruins the Sharpie and it doesn't want to write, well, that's because of the oil on it. So what I do is I wipe down the metal with acetone first. That way I get all the oil off before I weld it. Now, one very important thing: when you're done with the acetone, move it far away from where you're welding, because it will ignite. I've done it. So, just telling you, be safe, wipe it down, clean your metal, put it away. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do now, is I'm actually going to prep these pieces so we can go ahead and weld them and get them together. Alright guys, one quick thing. These magnetic squares, you can pick them up wherever. You can buy expensive ones, you can buy cheap ones, whatever. They're square, it works. Okay, so these guys here will really speed up the process for you of squaring up your material, being able to tack it in place and move on from there. So, definitely a tool you should get. Another quick tip: when you're trying to evenly space something and it's just a pain to sit and measure it, I use pop rivets, and these are 1/8 inch, and that's about the gap I want. So I'll use pop rivets to hold it evenly, that way I can go ahead and tack it in place. Alright guys, well, we'll let that piece cool, and as soon as it's cool, we'll test fit it in the car and make sure it's good to go. If it is, then we'll go ahead and start building the hinge. Okay, so now we have to lay out where everything's going to go. It fits good in the car. The frame I made is out of square by about 1/8 inch. The reason was the way I had to line it up in the car. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to use the one side as a square and lay out where the hinges need to be and where the little plates are going to be for it to bolt down. So that's what we're going to do now, is lay it all out, get it right, and then we can actually attach the plates and weld out the hinge. Okay, so look, what I decided to do was actually put both pieces bolted on. The reason is because if it swings down, it's going to be a pain in the ass to get to. So this way, when it swings down, it's right there. I just unzip it and it's done. So that's why I changed it up a little, and it's completely bolted in, and if for some reason I don't like it, I can just pull it out. Now I made sure when I welded it that I didn't get anywhere around those self tappers. So that way I can definitely get the 1/4 inch on there and back them off. So I didn't weld it out fully on some pieces. I made sure one side was at least welded out, the other side I put 2 little stitch welds so I could still get in there and get the screws. You gotta think ahead on the stuff of what's gonna hinder you later. So we'll let that cool and we'll either cut the rod or put something else in there. Well guys, you know when you're working on something and you get done with it and then you realize there was a better way to do it? Well, this is an improvement from the first one, so this is version 2. I got to thinking, and we could use the all thread to line it up and put it in so it hinges properly. But we could weld out those plates or just weld the nuts to it and then use a bolt that's long enough, thread it in from both sides, and it'll hinge, and then you could just unthread it and pull it out. So anyway, we'll do that in version 3. So alright, so what I'm going to do now is weld the one end of the all thread to the nut, cut off the other end, weld it to the nut, and then cut off the 2 centers. But don't weld the centers because they're the part that pivots. Alright guys, there you have it. Simple and easy like that. This will be under the dash. Be like that. Go down, get to your fuses, get to your relays. Nice and easy and simple. Alright. Now I need to come up with a way to pin this so it stays up and then crack my wife in her feet and I have to hear about it. So, let's figure out how to do that. Okay, I think I figured it out. So, we're going to use 2 more coupler nuts I had. We're going to put the first one, the outer one, in the actual fuse panel door. The other one's going to be welded in the frame. So what happens is when it swings up, you'll be able to turn this nut. I'll put a handle or something on it. And you'll be able to spin it right in, and it'll lock in and hold it. It won't rattle because it's locked in. Then you just unscrew it a little ways, and boop, the door drops. That's the plan. Now, I have to drill a straight hole right through both of them, and then open the holes up to fit the coupler nuts in. So that's the plan. That's what I got to do. you guys might be wondering why I did this, right? Why do you put a T and a nut? Put the T on it so I can use my hand. I don't have to go find a wrench. But if it gets stuck for any reason, put an open in the wrench on that nut, bust it loose. That's why I welded the nut there. So, looks like it's all ready to go up under the dash. So, let's go fit it in the car and weld it up. Well, it's all in and done. So all I have to do is reach under the dash, give it a few turns. There you go. I get to all my fuses and my relays. Simple as that. Push it back up, give it a few turns, tighten it down, and it's all tucked up, back away. Picking up the battery this week, I'll get it installed and then I can start wiring. I decided to do the wiring before the floor is in, though I'm not crawling under this thing. So that'll be the next step. Well guys, this week instead of doing a tool review, I figured I'd maybe talk about something else. And I want to talk about safety equipment. Alright? So no matter what, whenever you're cutting, drilling, grinding, whatever, of course safety glasses, okay? Now if you are in a place where you can't get those sparks that go a different direction. Okay, you just can't. It's coming at you. You can add a face shield. These are like $6. Okay, this one here is like $3. Like a nice one's like $6. So you've got your safety glasses and then your shield on. The shield's going to protect your face from all the hot sparks. Now, I don't ever trust wearing this without the safety glasses. All right. Hearing protection, earplugs, muffs, whatever you prefer, do it. Now, when I'm welding, there's a couple different shields, okay? This shield I've had for probably 10 years. It's an auto change shield. So what it means by auto change is the minute the light gets bright enough, i.e. a weld, it auto tints to protect my eyes. Once I stop, it goes back kind of clear, about like sunglasses, so I can see what I'm doing to position pieces. Okay? Now, you don't have to buy this expensive of a helmet. I bought this when I was welding every day for a living. Okay? This is what I use for that. You can pick up an auto change helmet at your welding supply store, Harbor Freight, different places. A pretty decent one runs about $80. Something like this is going to cost you over $300. But they run sales on them, so sometimes you can pick up one cheaper. Now the other style helmet is going to be your standard welding helmet. Now with this one, you flip it up to look, you snap your head down and weld, okay? For you guys that are just starting out, this can be a task, alright? Because you're in place, ready to go, you pop your head down and you move your hand. And then you start your weld and you're nowhere near where you need to be. So if you're having issues with it, spend a few bucks, get an auto change helmet. They've gotten very cheap and they're actually a great tool to have. Okay? Now, if you guys want, you can buy a welding jacket like this. Amazon has them for like 24 bucks. They're good for when you're in those positions where you just can't get it out of the way. It's falling on you. So instead of getting burned up and looking like all my clothes do with holes all in them, you know, a welding jacket might be a good choice. Now the last thing I was going to talk about is gloves. Now if you guys notice, I wear two different gloves. Okay, I wear what I call a hot glove on my left hand and I wear a TIG glove on my right. Okay, the reason I do that is because I brace and I hold pieces with my left. So with that, I wear a thicker glove so that I can really get up close to the weld and be fine, or I can hold the piece of metal and weld right next to my hand. Now, I wear a TIG glove on my other hand, or sometimes deer skins, things like that, because I like to be able to feel the trigger on the gun. So, if you're wondering why I wear two different gloves, that's why. Now, Tillman makes great gloves. Sometimes they can get pricey depending on what you buy. These are from Harbor Freight just because I was being cheap. I go through gloves a lot, so they get too hot and I blow out the fingers and stuff like that. So if you got gloves that are ripping, the stitching's popping on it, just spend the money and get another pair of gloves. Alright guys, before I sign off tonight, I'm trying something new. So on the first video of every month, I'm going to do a giveaway. So for all you people that have subscribed and everything and loyal viewers, I want to give back somehow. So I'm going to give away a t-shirt, and I've been working on my pinstriping again. I did this 60s Chevy hubcap. Looks pretty cool. Nice piece of wall art. Give that away too. So all you got to do is normal like and subscribe and comment below. On Monday night next week, I will throw all the names in a randomizer. Whoever it picks wins. I'll let you know next week who the winner is. That person can email me and I'll ship it out to you for free. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway guys, appreciate you watching. You have a good night. See you next time.